I hope I'm audible to everyone who has joined us today. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a truly pleasure to welcome all participants from different places who has taken time to be part of our scientific writing. Thank you so much, Jessica, Husseini. Yeah, thank you. That's remark that I'm audible to everyone. As I've been introduced earlier, my name is David Osima, a field epidemiologist, researcher, and consultant, currently serving as Assistant General Director, Chief Secretary of the Innovator, General Supply and the Consultants Company. So today we are continuing with our series 2, where we focus on the introductions and the methodology. And I'm going to take you through the introduction part, and my colleague is going to take you through the methodology part. So by starting the introduction, thank you so much for going to next slide. So when we are writing the introduction sections, there are 4 important components that must be clearly presented. Firstly, we need to explain what is already known, as it is displayed in the slide. And the next one is what is not known. The third one is why the study was conducted. And the last paragraph, we're expecting to portray your specific objective. So the first component, that's what is already known. This means you have to summarize the existing literature, showing what previous study have already established. For example, if we are doing maybe the study of HIV testing uptake among adults, you begin by discussing what earlier study have found about access, barrier, and service utilization. What is known about what you are expecting to write? That is the first component that you are going to write. It may take maybe like 2 to 3 paragraphs based on your objectives. You've wrote the what is known already, but you have to write what in the gap, what's driving you to write that kind of scientific writings. The third one is you have to explain. You have to explain the justification. You have to justify that's what is exactly that you need to convince the reader that it is necessary, timely, relevant to public health, either a policy or a practice. So you need it to justify. So the justification here is maybe the part of your main document from the rationale or the justification of the study. So you have to summarize them that you can make 5 to 7 lines, making 1 paragraph that justify why the study is important while you are conducting. And the final one is the specific objective, whereby this objective guiding the entire study and should flow naturally from identified gap. That your objective need to answer the gap in which you have tried to write above, and the second component. So as I've said that what is known, you have to write it following the inverted pyramid, that from the global, regional, or the local context. And this makes the issue very important and link them to your objective as I have already explained. Next, please. So when you are writing the introductions, we have the guide to write it. And the guide, the first one is, what's the problem? Remember, when you're writing your problem, you have to write it in the inverted pyramid, that the globally, regionally, and if possible, you have the literature or your local context, then you have to write it. Describe the problem, issues being studied. What's the proof that this issue is a problem? What's the proof? You have to provide the reference and exactly the citations that prove this is a problem. And when you're writing global, regional, in the local context, you have to define the key terms, concept, so your reader can understand. Then the third one is the gap, in which I have explained. The fourth one is the justification of your study, why this study is relevant and important. And the fifth one is what is the objective. Then the last paragraph we are expecting when we are reading your introduction section. Next, please. So this is an example of one of the paper I published about the HIV self-testing among the adolescents. And as you have seen these different colors, it explains the four parts in which I've explained earlier. That the first color explained about the local context, the global, the regional, and the local context, as you have seen. And the second part try to justify why this study is important. And then the objective, as you may see how was written. So the study aimed to provide the mapping and factors associated with home delivery among reproductive age women in Tanzania. So you find this as a summarized objective, which reflects exactly from the first, the second to the gap, whereby the gap read as, despite this effort, the 2022 demographic and health survey revealed that disparities remain in access healthcare services for women in reproductive age, with 21.9% of all deliveries still occurring at home. So this is stating the gap, why this was important, and is going to be filled with the objective in which that's in the final paragraph. Thank you so much. Let's move to the next. So we have the common errors linked to introduction sections in which everyone may encounter and find either there is a rejection from the journal or rejections from someone you are expected to accept your paper and whatever. So these errors are linked to, the first one is the major one, insufficient knowledge of literature review, sufficient knowledge while you are trying to show what is existing. Insufficiency in which sometimes writers rely on too few references or outdated studies, and this weakens the scientific background of your work. And another one is poor citation and referencing. This is related to the first one. Missing citations, inconsistency, referencing style. This make incorrect author attributions and are frequent reasons why the manuscript or your writing scientific one is rejected. And the third one is scientific misconduct. What is scientific misconduct? We are going to discuss this in the next slide. That's which may happen intentionally or unintentionally. Sometimes people copy direct text without citation. Other may misrepresent findings from previous studies, and this mistake reduces your credibility of your work and may even lead to rejections by the journal. So you may find that you have a very good study, very good project, very good work, very good data, but you find that due to scientific misconduct, then your work is going to be rejected. Next, please. So the type of scientific misconduct, we have the first one is fabrication, falsification, and plagiarism. Then what do these all means? The fabrications means that creating data or result that not actually exist. You're fabricating something that is not there. And the second one is falsification, where the data are manipulated, altered, selective, reported to produce the desired results. You are trying to manipulate, to message your data that it can reflect what you are expecting, but is not a scientific one. It will be rejected. And the last one is plagiarism, which is probably the most common encountered issues in academic writings, writing a different project vis-a-vis what you are trying to deliver or to communicate to the readers. And finally, this one, you are trying to write different sentences coming from different literatures, but you are not exactly citing them. So when you are talking about plagiarism, in the meaning, remember that it should reflect your understanding of the concept. It should reflect your understanding of the concept. And for example, instead of copying the sentence directly to your reader, it carefully understand the core ideas to write it in a new structure. So coming to how to avoid the plagiarism. So the first one is cite anything taken from another source, which include facts, figures, opinion, or conversation. And the second one, incorporate references and not citations in your literature review. Use appropriate paraphrasing. And the last one, be conservative and always cite the source. Remember to cite the source. A good principle in research writing is when in doubt, cite. Next, please. At the end of our topic, and I'm glad that we have tried to show the very crucial tips of how you can write your introduction section. As I've said that you have at least 4 to 5 components when you are writing your introduction sections. And as I've said that the background, problem, statement, rationale, and the study objective from your main document, it should be summarized to produce a one-page introduction sections for your manuscript. While you're writing from the components that were for, the global, regional, and local contexts have to be provided and understanding of existing knowledge about your topic or start. Remember to select the gap, justification, and finally the start, objective, and the last paragraph of your introduction section. After saying that, thank you so much. Take about a break while I'm welcome my